Hey guys, I just made a video about talking about preventing out stack. I'm going to talk about the psychological side of this game. Psychological side of this game is pretty much a fearing certain cards. Example, Starlight Road. You don't really fear Solemn because of the heavy. What else do you always fear? You always fear Mirror Forces, Deep Prison, stuff like that. And most of the time, you're being bluffed, or they do have the card. Most of the time, I think you're always bluffing the hell out of your opponent. That's why most of the time people conserve until they could fully go off without no hesitation or no result to a bad outcome. That's why some people play like that, really slow, and they take the game really slow pace and stuff like that. I see this game more as in I see it like a video game. It's like it's either it's either you set up and you control the whole game, or you pretty much go all out. And when I'm talking about this, it's like I don't know if you guys played Halo or Gears of War, some stuff like that, or League of Legends. It's like you have to control certain parts of the map and stuff like that. It's like same thing I apply to Yu-Gi-Oh. You have to control certain points, even in life. You have to control certain parts in your life and stuff like that. But yeah, some things you have to control in the game. You have to know how to control your opponent and how much can he extend without you fearing losing the game or losing the control of the game. So there's kind of stuff that you have to fear. Um, Power cards like Dark Hole, Heavy, Monster Reborn. Those are cards that we lose to, or they top deck it or something like that, and we end up losing to. And most of the time, it's kind of our fault, because I think we use things like I know back then I used to think Solemn was a terrible card, and then I started using it. I used to Solemn any retarded little thing, thinking that it would actually, it was a good play. But in the end, I found out that you have to Solemn certain things. You can't Solemn anything. You can't Solemn. Let's say if they have a bigger monster than you can't Solemn the monster. You have to let the monster sometimes go through. That's why you have the warnings or deep prisons and bottomless, like Zenmates. Most likely, the thing I like to do with Zenmates, I don't warning it or anything like that. Usually, I have compulses or stuff like that to get over it. If I don't have, or deep prisons, most of the time they'll try to attack, and they'll like to crash with they'll try crashing with my monster or attacking to my monster like that. They try popping the Necro Valley or something like that. Most of the time they catch a deep prison off guard or a compulse, so that minuses them because they have to waste two monsters to make the Zenmates. But yeah, but that's most of the time. That's a psychological part. Sometimes you can't always just think, hey, he probably has nothing, he's bluffing me or something like that. And then most of the times you do. I noticed with Spy, I can't play conservatively. I have to pretty much YOLO it, flip it. You have to flip it. Once you set it the next turn, you flip the hell out of it. Because if you don't flip it, then they're going to have more outs to it. It's like what Dubcake Dad said in his video, talking about the Thunder King being on the field. Pretty much the more and more the Thunder Kings being on the field, the more they're allowing you to draw cards. If you don't flip the Spy, the more you're going to allow them to draw their outs until you think you have your own out. But in reality, they'll have their outs for you. And they won't have an out just to the Spy. They'll have an out to your back row, to your monster, to the Necro Valley, to whatever you have in hand. Yeah, Royal Tribute is a card like I explained in some of my videos before, and it does hurt you a lot. Well, card destruction, any card, I could talk about any power card if you want, for any certain deck. But I'm just saying it right now, because right now this is the deck that I'm using, GKs and stuff like that. So that's what I'm talking about it. The power card, most people believe it's Royal Tribute. I think the power card, there's no power cards in GKs. I think one power card is probably Steel. It wins most games. Outplaying the shit out of your opponent is a major big thing in this deck. Most people like to side Shattering Prison Mirrors and stuff like that, but it never hurts me. That's how I never space it. I played but yeah, most of the time people never space it. Certain things like control aspects of the game, people will like an example. Let me just show you something. Usually sometimes I have a Malefic out. I'll have the Malefic Stardust out, and they'll think they could get away because I could poke them a little bit. But most of the time, I either have, let's pretend the Book of Moon's a compulse, and let's say this is another monster. The Steel's another monster, and Most of the time, you'll just keep on poking them with the Stardust because that's all you have. But that's why I like running cards like Tsukiyomi, because if you run like a Malefic deck or something like that and you don't have the skill drain on board, you just book it, you just book the Malefic, let your other monsters attack. Well, any anti-meta deck should be running I think Tsukiyomi, because it's an out to big problems. Myself, I've got kind of tired of Veilers, but at the same time, I kind of don't got tired of Veilers, because, I don't know, Windup's an easy deck for me, Goes and Match exists, and other cards exist. I don't really take the game serious on DN. Most of the time, I mess around or I misplay a lot, due to the fact that it's just, it's a game, and I'm not gonna take it serious, but if I go to a tourney or something like that and I put money to it, that's when you have to take it serious. Yeah, people get mad because you get emotional over the game, but it's like if you put $20 to enter regionals and you get stacked or cheated or something like that, it's kind of like you wasted $20 for no reason. Yes, you get your money back out of the packs, but it's still like it ruins the fun out of your experience. But yeah, that's something I would want to talk about. It's like the psychological part. It's like when people are bluffing cards and stuff like that. Try not to be scared of the back row, but at the same time, try to think about what could hurt you and what plays you could do besides the play that you have in mind, like that they could force that card on you if they do have it. That's what you have to always think. You have to make sure that they're going to force stuff on you, like if you force a warning or you force a bottomless or a D prison, depending any deck, etc. Any deck or anything like that. It's going to be like you have to force stuff on you have to force cards and make your make your opponent 1-for-1 the cards that they need for your play or something like that. Because most of the time you're either scared of the Veiler, you're scared of the Max C or something like that. But with windups you can play out of Max C. I played in Max C actually. With Gravekeeper, I mean with Dark World, I remember I got a huge field present with Dark World in DN, and he max seed. I got like so many monsters on board and stuff like that, and he got a whole hand, and I had a drag down. I had an out to all his stuff. So everything that he drew, I knew what he had, and I knew how to correspond to what he drew, and I knew what to take out from his hand. He won because he top decked a Rakenli and made Quasar and then just attacked for game. But that's kind of like that's the game. Top decking, the top decking whatever. The top decking part of the game, sadly. It is what it is. Like my friend Normal says it. He's pretty chill, by the way. Like last video I said, look at their channel, but they're really cool people to talk to. They're really friendly and nice and stuff like that. They'll help you out with decks and stuff like that. They'll ask you questions, what works or your build or something like that. I remember I showed him a picture and he was like, he wanted me to play somebody with the deck to see if it works or something like that. I think it was the windups with Trapstun. But yeah. My friend was using the deck and yeah, my friend kind of gets mad. Eric? You guys know Eric. Hold up, I'm sorry, I'm getting like a lot of stuff. I'm gonna ignore it for right now. But yeah, there's a lot of things. I'm going to do 2 segments. One is going to be the psychological part, and one to make sure you don't get cheated on. And I'm sorry about the camera quality, but I will be recording more duels and stuff like that. So you guys should check that out and check out the contest once again. I hope you guys enter. It'll be more fun and more people enter, and it'll be I want to at least get 50 subs before I make an introduction video or something like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Take care.